She's just 17, but Marian lives alone in this single-room house, a mixed-race girl in rural Kenya where nobody looks like her.
They actually call me poor white girl. I don't know why they call me poor white girl. They always say, why are you here? Just look for a connection that you will go to your own people. You don't belong in here.
Marian's mother, Lydia Juma, was among hundreds of women who accused soldiers from the British Army Training Unit Kenya, Batuk, of rape. She was interviewed in this 2011 documentary.
Because in our tribe, we can't report that thing. It's a big shame if you go and say that you have been raped.
Lydia Juma died 2 years after that interview, and Marian has never met her father. She has to fend for herself in a society that ostracizes her.
You have not lost hope of finding your father someday?
No, I've never lost hope.
Mixed-race children keep being born in the remote villages where the British Army trains in Kenya. Generika Namoru says she was in a consensual relationship with a British soldier while she worked at their base, but she claims he has never supported her since she gave birth.
I'm a woman with a white child. It's not easy for my family, especially because a child is expensive. She's suffering for no good reason.
So you just want him to take responsibility for his daughter?
Yeah, nothing else. For him, I want him to take care of the education, health.
Have you ever received a cent from him since she was born?
I've never received any cent.
Generika is jobless and says she has unsuccessfully tried to petition local authorities and the British Army to find her ex-boyfriend. The British High Commission told CNN it cooperates with local child support authorities in paternity claims. But the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights says the UK government has made no effort to hold soldiers accountable in such cases.
These children really deserve British citizenship. They're British kids. Their fathers were British.
So the British government is just not interested in resolving these cases?
We don't think they are interested. We call it BBBB, British boys behaving badly.
The UK pays Kenya about $400,000 a year to allow up to 10,000 British soldiers to train in the country. Kenya renewed the 5-year deal in 2021 despite opposition from some local groups, lawmakers, and human rights defenders.
We have also had cases where these women and people who have reported have been intimidated. So there is a conspiracy to make sure that justice does not happen for these women.
Allegations of rape and other crimes, including murder, by British soldiers in Kenya date back to the 1950s. These elderly women accused Batuk officers of rape in the 70s and 80s in a landmark case in London over 20 years ago. Ntoye Lenkanan says she was one of them.
I was going to fetch water when I was ambushed by a group of British soldiers who were hiding in the grass near the river. One of them grabbed me and raped me.
In 2007, Britain's Ministry of Defense dismissed over 2,000 claims of rape from mostly Maasai and Samburu women, saying, quote, there was no reliable evidence to support any single allegation. The government in Nairobi lost the case files without explanation. A Royal Military Police investigation concluded that most of the Kenyan evidence appeared to have been fabricated. One Kenyan official called it a cover-up. They did not conduct DNA tests on any of the 69 mixed-race children alleged to have been born as a result of rape by British soldiers. Lawyer Kelvin Kubai is working to reintroduce the case in Kenyan courts. 17-year-old Marian will be the lead plaintiff, taking up a fight her mother didn't win in her lifetime.
It is traumatic and it's psychologically disturbing to people like Marian and many others who continue to see the British training amidst them with all these unresolved trauma and historical injustices.
Larry Medowo, CNN, Nanyuki, Kenya.
And the British High Commission told CNN that it takes all allegations raised by the community seriously and it ensures thorough investigations. It added that all sexual activity which involves the abuse of power is prohibited.
Now, victims of atrocities committed by members of the British Army Training Unit in Samburu and Laikipia counties are calling on the government of Kenya to intervene and commence criminal proceedings against perpetrators. The victims, who spoke to the Foreign Relations, Defence and Intelligence Committee of the National Assembly, want the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Ministries of Defence and Foreign Relations to cause prosecution of persons believed to have committed crimes of rape, murder, among others. Defence Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale and the Parliamentary Committee Chair Nelson Koech have pledged to push for implementation of the Defence Cooperation Act in response to the victims' cry. Seth Olale was in Samburu County.
22-year-old Chauda Lochere has sat on this wheelchair for the last 5 years. A military truck that allegedly belonged to the British Army Training Unit literally ran over her along the Isiolo-Moyale Highway at Archer's Post, Samburu County. She was 17 years old at the time. Her mother, 44-year-old Momsi Lochere, presented her before the National Assembly Defence and Foreign Relations Committee that is investigating alleged atrocities committed by the British Army Training Unit in Kenya since pre-independence.
Mtoto yangu aligongwa na gari ya British hapa kwa hii barabara akiwa na cross kwenda shule. Aligongwa akiwa na 17 years 2019. Wakakuja tukapeleka mpaka Kero Hospital, wakakuja wakafuatilia, wakalipa hospitali, wakarudisha nyumbani. Kutoka hapa hawajaifuatilia na amekatwa mguu moja, ingine ni mashuma.
Despite Lochode reporting the incident to the authorities here at Archer's Post, no help has been forthcoming 5 years after the incident.
Nimeripoti hata niko na OB hapa. Hapa police Archers. Wakakuja wakasema hawataki kesi, watashughulikia. Na kutoka hapa walienda na wakaenda.
Since then, Lochode has been struggling to offer special care to her disabled daughter, whose dream of pursuing education further was cut short by the incident.
Hii mtoto ninafunga pambas, mimi sina kazi, sina bwana. Sasa maisha yangu ni kukaa kushunga yeye kwa nyumba. Majirani ndio wananiletea chakula. Maybe hata saa zingine ndio anakuja kunitembelea kumletea chakula.
Mara mwisho ulipigwa teke.
Another victim, 56-year-old Anderson Adet Lolosoi, is lucky to be alive after an undetonated bomb exploded right in front of him in 1987. His village mate was not as lucky.
Sasa mwenzangu alienda akashika, sasa akaanza kuigonga na nini na kaanza kuigonga na rungu. Sasa mzuri, mimi nilikuwa mbali kidogo. So nilikuwa mahali mwiniko in a steep place. So what happened? Hii kitu ikalipuka. Mimi ilinigonga hapa kwa miguu.
The scars he bears since the incident are a permanent reminder of neglect of safety measures for detonation of explosives allegedly attributed to the British Army Training Unit in Samburu County. Lolosoi says he received 200,000 shillings as compensation instead of the 4 million he signed for through a lawyer.
Tukachezewa nikalipo 1200 peke yake, ambaye na kwa ile karatasi alikuwa amenipatia isipokuwa tumetuma kwa sababu hata tuliishiwa na maneno ya kusema ilikuwa imeandikwa 7,971,105. I still remember. Na ilienda hivyo.
Sisi hapa hatuna mtu mwingine kufanyia sisi.
Many victims, including this elder from Doldol, Laikipia North, complained to the Nelson Koech-led parliamentary committee investigating the atrocities of being shortchanged by lawyers after signing for compensation.
Sio batu peke yake. Tutafanya kikao na NEMA, tutafanya kikao na Attorney General, tutafanya kikao na all the stakeholders ambao wanahusika kwa mambo ambayo yanaendelea sehemu hii, ili kuweza kuona kwamba haki kutoka hao watu wa sehemu hii imeweza kupatikana.
Victims and local leaders are demanding that perpetrators face prosecution.
Sisi kama viongozi hakuna hofu tunakuanga nao kubwa kama kuangalia watu wetu wakikosa kupewa justice many years later. Pia we have a lot of cases of delayed compensation which we are also demanding. Pia hizo zimaliziwe, watu wetu wapate kulipwa na kufaidika vile wanavyotakikana.
In an interview on Citizen TV's Jeff Koinange Live, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale said the Defense Cooperation Act recommends that Kenya handles crimes committed by foreigners on its soil.
Residents here hope that the much-awaited parliamentary inquiry being conducted by the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations will not just be a formality, but will address serious atrocities allegations committed by the British Army Training Unit in regards to human rights violation and ethical misconduct. Seth Olale, Citizen TV, Archers Post, Samburu County.